Live from Sneaky Pear Studios, it's
Bloodbath and Beyond! I don't know the song.
No, I don't know the song.
What is that song? It sounds like Ghostbusters.
No, it's like Wheel of Fortune. Is
that the Wheel of Fortune song?
That's it?
Intro. Two-headed shark attack. That's the movie we watched this week. Starts off with people partying. They get killed by a, not one, but two-headed shark. We got to the main cast. It's about 30 of them, it seems like. 20 maybe. They're on a boat or a yacht learning things about sea life, and they're on their way to an island. Shark into the propeller. They're stranded. Now they go back and forth from an atoll that they found, or an island, and one by one they get killed by a two-headed shark until finally two lucky people blow the shark up and get away. So what are your thoughts on the film?
I absolutely hated it.
You hate every movie, though.
This isn't the worst movie we've seen.
It's not the
Not
worst.
even close to the
no,
worst.
it's not close to the worst movie we've seen, but I felt that there was nothing to it. This movie was called Two-Headed Shark Attack, and the movie was just a shark with two heads attacking people. There was no character development. There was no story.
What did you expect?
I expected something.
You expected a two-headed shark to attack, did you not? And that's what you said this movie was full of?
That's all it was.
Great.
There's only so many times I can see a shark with two heads kill people the same way.
They had some good deaths.
They did have some good deaths, and they multiplied it.
By every person that got killed.
Yeah, they had a cast of like 40 people.
Every pair.
Pair.
Because they couldn't kill one at a time.
They don't say pair unless you want to include our muscle man when he had thunder and lightning, and here comes a storm. The acting was horrendous in this movie, but there was some highlights to it, I will admit.
No. All right, Jake, give us your thoughts on the film.
I thought it was pretty good.
We have a hate, we have a like.
I'm leaning more towards hate than like. I think that this movie just kind of failed. I guess there's nothing too cool you can do with a two-headed shark, from what I've learned.
It was one of those failed attempts before Sharknado comes out. What's cool that we can do with a shark? Give it two heads.
Yeah, but
we can rip people in half. Cool. That's what you can do.
But, I mean, the shark is more deadly because it has more electroreceptors on it. Would you rather face one two-headed shark or two one-headed sharks?
One two-headed shark. Because I know where I need to go, and it's between two heads.
Yeah, I agree, because they'll just be batting each other.
Yeah.
Can't kill you. You're safe.
Surprisingly enough, the only person who knew that was Brooke Hogan.
So this movie had a pretty big cast. It had Carmen Electra, Charlie O'Connell, and Brooke Hogan, who was the hero of the film.
I'm a real American.
What did you think of the acting?
My favorite actress in this entire movie was the redheaded chick. Small bikini top with kind of gold. That chick was the most awful actress I've ever seen in my life.
Oh God, we're sinking.
I like this movie more because she had so many key lines. There's this cast of 30, and like she had the worst reactions. Like,
Oh, thank God, civilization.
that was awful. Out of the other 30 people, none of you had a better reaction shot.
So I thought there was too many people in the cast.
Well, that's the thing. We could either have 5 or 6 one-person deaths, which is fine. I'm fine with that. That's a great movie. Yeah. But double that. Triple it. No, quadruple that number, and we can have 1 million more deaths. Mm-hmm. Whether they look the same, and maybe that's why you're upset with how the deaths looked, because they had so many people to kill off. Like, you can't come up with a unique death for 30 people.
All I'm saying is 50% of the movie was the shark swimming to the camera.
Yeah, I know. And it was cool. Yeah, someone's
the
gonna
first
die.
time. Second time, okay. And then it got boring.
Acting, not great, not great. Loved it.
Loved it.
Dr. Babish, what's happening? Oh my God, are you okay?
Special effects.
I mean, the 3D was really, really tacky, but they had a good mixture of 3D and puppeteering. I was okay with it. I mean, the blood was just dye in a puddle. They tried. From a lot of the movies that we've seen, we don't even get to see blood. The best we get is like a ketchup packs on the lens.
The practical model was more impressive.
Cleve Hall, who was the person who designed the shark, is from a reality show called Monster Man, where he created a bunch of different practical effects for mainly Asylum and many other B movies. And originally, the two heads were actually supposed to be above each other, which would have made for the worst kills ever. It's like, I gotta eat your legs and your head. But Cleve Hall's like, this is stupid. I think the show was like an hour long, and it went on about like how stupid that idea was, and how this would be cool, because you can rip people like this. And they went with that, and they made like a 20-foot shark that was completely practical and made of foam, and like, well, that was cool. When they did use the practical shark, they decided to cut in with like the shittiest B-roll of blood splashing in the water, so that you couldn't really see. And so when you did see the practical shark, it looked more fake because we were just like underwater, and it just like fucked up everything.
Another thing, the explosions. Like, let's be honest here. When that propane tank blew up, did we even see anything blow up?
No. We had to rewind it.
So we talked about special effects. Better than most, we all agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was a good effort. Better than I could do. So good job. Jay, what's the tagline of this film?
One body, 2 heads, and 6,000 teeth. Do it all, everyone.
Does one shark have 3,000 teeth?
Beep, 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 beep.
This just in, sharks have about 3,000 teeth. What did you guys think of the story? What story it had? First, there was a 2-headed shark, and that's not enough. An island built on coral is now sinking.
Atoll. Okay.
Sorry.
I don't know. Jeez.
Yeah.
You're obviously not an island enthusiast like we are.
It's true. It's
I love islands, especially the old game Monkey Island.
Since you're such the expert.
Sometimes reefs support islands or atolls, and they can be broken by big sharks and cause islands to sink entirely.
I think technically it's called an atoll if it's formed over coral.
Beep, 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 beep.
A ring-shaped coral reef, or a string of closely spaced small coral islands enclosed or nearly enclosing a shallow lagoon.
That doesn't sound anything like this island.
I think my definition of an atoll is I think I could win some balderdash.
Boulder.
You're right. Mind you, I also didn't know that an atoll was even close to an island. I didn't know that word existed until fucking 20 minutes ago.
You mean more like when we watched the movie and they called it an atoll?
Did they ever call it that?
All the time. Remember, the Jog was like,
No, they did not.
Ron was like, yo, there's an island over there. And Brainiac was like, excuse me, it's an atoll.
I don't believe that.
Show the clip.
Is that an island?
An atoll.
What did you like or hate about this movie? What I liked about the movie is the nerdy guy made it to the end, you know? He was dropping knowledge bombs on everyone, and he survived. So I like that. What did you like or not like about this movie? So you guys both liked the lesbian scene, right?
I really liked it.
I think that's what you both
I think I
enjoyed
liked it
about
more
this
than
film.
John.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Is it? No, it's not really a lesbian scene. It's more of a 3-way. So you both liked the 3-way.
Mainly
Okay.
because boob touched boob.
You don't really get to see that often. You see a lot of like lip on lip, but never nip on nip.
Jeez, this guy's full of gold today.
Thanks.
Cut you over, Midas. What? That doesn't mean anything. Cut you over, Midas.
Thanks.
Okay.
Fuck y'all.
What did you not like about the movie, Jay? Rant if you want.
I will. What didn't I like about this movie? Right?
No, we were talking about the lesbian scene.
Oh, what didn't I like about the lesbian scene? Just
Yeah.
specifically? I didn't like that it ended with a brutal shark attack.
Just interject. I like most scenes, lesbian or not, to end at some point.
All I had to say about the big boobed one is when she took her top off, definitely did not expect her boobs to look like that.
I did. We had the discussion while we were watching the movie. And I explained why I liked smaller boobs. Because I know what they're going to look like outside of the shirt. With bigger boobs, you don't. Because they hang low, maybe. Maybe they stay in place. Maybe that's not your thing. You don't want them to stay there, then fucking move on.
What about the nipple? You want like
Nipple placement
you want like saucer?
This is a different story. We're not talking
saucer
about
ones?
that. We're talking
Or,
about
little
like
tiny
position.
bee stings.
I'm fine with that.
I like.
You like big boobs, I like smaller boobs.
But we both like big asses.
Yeah, we do.
Trav, what do you like?
More of a personality guy.
The crossfades were terrible. Like just the reaction on the boat of each person's face.
And it was the reaction shot from every single character fading into each other. And because there's 30 characters, it took 2.5 minutes.
Also, in most scenes, they did 4 cuts to like 4 different areas all the time. Like
Cuts were so quick.
They went cut crazy.
My favorite is when my hottest girl,
yeah,
the pink striped bikini and Brooke Hogan were having their heart-to-heart conversation, that cutting was terrible. It was like, we're far away, we're close together. Brooke's talking with her hands like this. Cuts to a shot and her hands are down here. It's like, not like when you film something, you don't film it all in one go most of the times. You space it out, but you keep consistent with their actions. This bugged me the entire movie. And that was the fact that in the lesbian scene, the shark killed the two lesbians in shallow water.
They were actually bisexual. They were with another guy.
It made no sense. They made this shark to be out huge. They kept saying it can't attack us in shallow water. But yet one of the first deaths of the movie was in shallow water. It was terrible.
I hated that John kept complaining about that when we watched it.
I apologize for annoying you. But it pissed me off.
Are you
He
gonna put the
wouldn't,
mask
Are
on?
you going to put the mask on or not?
Yeah.
Oh, I have the mask on already, if you haven't noticed.
I
Is
know.
that what you're asking me? Am I going to put the mask on?
Yeah.
I'm wearing a mask.
Pull it down.
down.
I need a drink.
You gotta pull it down. It loses the effect.
How am I going to...
How are people going to know it's Deadpool? There we go. That looks like
How am I going
Deadpool.
to do this?
Yeah, it's going to stain your mask.
It's disgusting.
It stained your mask.
Look at it off.
Final thoughts and our rating. I did not like this movie. I thought it was boring by the time you got to the end of it. I hated the shallow water parts, like you mentioned. I also hated that they blew up one of the heads, and then they switched which head they blew off. That was very annoying.
Yep.
So
Fair enough.
overall, I'm going to give this 1 atoll out of 5.
I was also not a fan of this movie. I was annoyed with the fact that they screwed up the continuity with the shallow water. I was mildly entertained and enjoyed the fact that every time a person was getting eaten by a shark, they felt the need to punch it, and you can see them constantly fighting. I was entertained by that. Loved a little nip on nip. Nothing wrong with that. Always love seeing a boobie. And I'm giving it 1 beefy bicep out of 5. Well, I'm so jacked. My last name's O'Lantern.
It looks like you're blazed. Look at how glazed your eyes are.
It's these studio cats.
Studio Cats. What a name for a production company. That would have been sick.
Studio
Cats.
Hey, Jay,
Uh-huh.
what are your thoughts on the film? And what's your rating?
Final thoughts on this movie? I loved the deaths. I thought they were awesome. They had the best Carmen Electra, like, sunbathing scene with a nice, like, aerial view, like, multiple aerial views. It was, like, an abnormal amount of aerial views of Carmen Electra sunbathing. Unnecessary, and I love that. I like the lesbian scene in this film. What a great film.
This movie.
This just it.
That's just it.
Jay's out.
I'm out. I give this film 3 Stretch Armstrongs out of 5. Are we doing that?
Okay, we need to end this.
Bye.
No, yeah, it's irrelevant. You don't need to actually end it.
Love you.
See ya.
It's not going to be in it.
You know, what if we're like, Jay's got a huge penis?
I love chimichangas and I have a huge penis.